mit Mechayev. Only because Kal Hu Ritzoyin is Baruch, this is Hashem's will. There is nothing identifiable in Hashem that would demand that this should come by gilui. But because that this is His will, this is why there is this gilui. והרי הוא בעין הרויך כלל וכלל לגבי העצם. And thus, the oir is totally, klal uklal means totally and totally. Bein haroich, no similarity whatsoever relative to the Yetzer. Again, going back to the oir hashemesh, oir hanefesh, chayes hanefesh, this is only oir, this is etzem. It's also bein haroich, but it's one is reflective of the other. Particularly in the Shemesh, the sun, the Nefesh, we will discuss, this is in that parenthesis. In the Shemesh we clearly see that Shemesh is light through and through, as you said, Etzem Behiri. Behiri use, brightness. What is the significance of brightness? Brightness is not for internal consumption, has no fundamental value in and of itself. Brightness is that it makes bright. Therefore, the etzem mahus hashemesh is to make bright. Even though by shemesh this is not a possession, but this is what the mahus hashemesh is. So we can get a little bit of an inkling the meaning of that mechayev. Mechayev means that is a definition of shemesh that we should illuminate. Even though, as we said, it is not a possession, it is the etzem. The etzem mahusay. What is the mahus of light, of brightness? Is to make bright. Otherwise, as we discussed last night extensively, what is brightness? But in Atzmus, the oir does not reflect what the etzem is. There is not a compelling element in the oir, in the etzem. Again, the word compelling here means, what is the significance of the etzem? That it can be gilui, not so. Not a question of compelling that he is forced to, even if it's done volitionally. Even if it's done volitionally, if it's got a quality whose particular value is the effect of its gilui, therefore it's compelling.
In what way is it or? Because you keep saying that the etzem is...
You missed last night, mister. Okay, what? Go ahead.
We keep saying that, I mean, the whole build-up was that Atzmus is not that, it's impossible.
That is the big thing. That it is an oir ha'etzem. Again, we discussed this last night. It's oir ha'etzem, but there is, the etzem is not an element that, this oir comes from an etzem. That etzem is not an etzem that that you would define as something that brings oir. It's beyond.
We said there's nothing to reflect. There's no.
Oh, reflecting. There is a presence. There is a presence. Last night we said phenomenal thing that in this world everything is very finite and changing all the time. Yet that matter, the lowest, cannot be destroyed. Why can it not be destroyed? It's a component of many chemicals, according to science. It's true. Why can it not be destroyed? Because its presence is not a presence of a gilui. It's a presence of an etzem. This is a real presence. The earth is reflecting a real presence. The world is a real presence. Not in itself. It's reflective. It's an oil of a real presence.
Right, that's a gilui, that's a reflection of an essence.
It's the same thing. A gilui and reflection is the same thing.
Its presence is a gilui.
Yes.
Couldn't you say the same thing about chayas? In other words, any kind of
Chayes is also the same thing. But Chayes, that defines a nefesh. Here, the oil is not defining Elokus, Atzmos.
quality of being.
Right. Doesn't define Atzmos. Atzmos has no definition whatsoever.
That's not a descriptor. That's not a description.
No.
But yet, when there is a gilui, a relational gilui...
The one way we describe Atzmos, quote unquote, is that a Motzo Rishon. Like the Rambam says, Motzo Rishon. And we discussed what's meant to Motzo Rishon. A first presence, a first coming forth, a first being. Okay, where does it come from? Motzo Rishon means that it does not have a where it's coming from. It does not need a where it's coming from.
What's being said with it does not need it. You said it doesn't have where it's coming from. What's focused with it does not need a where it's coming
Right, it's an it's such a motto that does not beg the question where it's coming from.
Well, I was saying, so in Atzmus itself, yeah, so Atzmus is not present, but that doesn't say anything about Atzmus. And so, but Kach Oliver Ritzoinei, and there's an Oyer, and the Oyer is reflective of presence, and this is what the Eibishter wants to reveal of himself, and it's Bein Aroich.
Right.
But we're saying that Atzmus is not present. We're just saying that this doesn't describe Atzmus.
Even not present, this is what's called Motzi Be'etzem. Not present.
No,
like
because we
saying
said
the
before
Shlila.
that Shlila, we said that before Shlila, the Chisaron of Shlila is that it is Metara Davar Ma.
That's right.
Because then otherwise it's not the, but here it's Shlila, but it's not Metara. But Kach Olav Ritzoinai, and
So
the order
therefore,
has
no,
the
wait a
same
second, here's not, Shlila is already wrong. Not present is not describing Atzmos.
But the order is revealing presence, and we call it oil. But it's Bein Aroich. Even
The oil, right? The oil is a presence because there's no other way to describe to have a gilui. But the oil, the oil, the oil comes from the etzem, but it's not really coming from the etzem, because it's not representing etzem as etzem is in reality.
So there's some type of tzimtzum before oil.
Absolutely, and oil is he wants it v'shoy. There's nothing in etzem that is reflected in oil. Oh, it's here. Okay. Again. Been mentioned lately. The Gemara, hu mekoyme shel oilam ve'in ha'oilam mekoyme. Essentially, this is in nigla terms the same thing that we're learning now. Hu mekoyme shel oilam. I mean, as we discussed, mekoyme means not a space. Mekoyme means that which allows. Said, what's world? World means that there is a creator. It has a justification for being. The world has a justification for being because there is who. Ve'ein ha'olam mekoymai. But that does not define who.
Yet the or is a very wondrous presence. In other words, the or is because of either it's because that the Etzem wanted that, and it's reflecting that the Etzem really wants it, or I was under the impression that even though it's impossible that or should reflect Etzem, nevertheless, if Hashem wants it, it can be so. You know, in other words, it's like a complete stira. Like
let's. Baruch Hashem, we have been, if we're dying in the words, that's the important thing over here. So it says like this: that in fact, Lamailo, the oil is not bivchinas gilui min ha'etzem. It is incorrect to say that it has an element that it's gilui min ha'etzem, it's gilui from the etzem. V'hainu, and then he goes more clearly. She'ein ha'etzem mechayev u'meives ha'gilui mitzad etzem mehusa. The etzem mehusa, the etzem does not recognize and does not, it's not reflected in the oil. Oil is gilui. Like we said, the etzem mahus of the sun is reflected in the light. Even though light and sun are shloi b'yerech. Shloi b'yerech. The light has to be constantly emanating. The sun is an etzem mehiri. Well, this etzem mehiri is maybe as oil. But this oil is not related to etzem, to Asmus in that same way. Maybe it's mitzad etzem mahusay due to the essence of what it is. Rak maybe is hagilui only that it brings the gilui mipnakim and kaisha kachu ritzeni yisbori. Because this is ritzeni yisbori. Therefore, maybe it's a gilui b'harehu bein arech klal uklal legabe hoetzem. Therefore, it is bein arich klal all together. Even after the oil is gilui, and it is reflective of etzem, it's bein arich klal uklal because there is a gap between the presence of the oil and the etzem. The oil does not reflect the motivation element of the etzem.
And what does the oil reflect? It's not the oil is just that it's reflecting the etzem. What is this oil reflecting?
I don't know. It's a proper answer.
Something great.
Not a something. Okay, this will be continued. The etzem element, the whose etzem oil is not reflected.
I don't know. We just said that it does not reflect the Matzah Rishon element, and we don't know what it does reflect. To me, it should be the opposite. It doesn't reflect the etzem mechus haetzem. It reflects the kachal eberitzoyna. What it reflects is what Hashem wants it to reflect. But this is you have mechayv mitzat etzem.
See, the important. Here's the important point. The difficulty in this. Yeah, if it reflects what Hashem wants it to reflect, it's not oir.
It's not ora etzem.
It's not oil. It's not oil by definition.
Emanating from His will.
Emanating from His will. So it's a created thing. And as a matter of fact, that this is the next thing that we're coming to. It's almost like a created thing. But this creation is a different creation than everything else. It's a creation that is reflective of Atmas. Let's go through this. I'm sure we'll regurgitate this many times. Okay. I'm going back to this line we're up to just to point out something. The etzem is not mechayiv or maybe it's agil mitzad etzem mehusa. Rather, okay, here's the thing to reflect. Maybe it's hagilui. The etzem is maybe it's hagilui. In other words, it is an etzem element in this gilui. But not mitzad etzem mahusoi, but mitzad kahun etzoynei. Therefore, it's bein arich klal klal. The oir, even though the etzem is meves hagilui, but meves hagilui not mitzad etzem mahusa. V'yesh loymar. Therefore, it is conceivable to say, it's possible to say, Shaharei ha'oir hu gam kim b'riya. That in fact, behold, the oir is also a creation. It's not an oir that reflects the reality, it is creation. Meha maimer hi oir. That is rooted in this maimer. This maimer, this utterance, in this statement. Hi oir, let it be light. V'chein hu mitzias ha'oir. This is it essentially. Just want to V'chein hu mitzias ha'oir. This is in fact the mitzias ha'oir, the presence of the oir, b'madrega ha'yeser elyein. In the highest madrega, the hainu, which is bechinas gilui hakav shuhu ha'oir lahoyer ha'elameis. Okay, here's where we stop because we won't be able to do justice to this in a hurry. That's for sure.